What's up guys, Big D Wiz, oldschoolstereo.com. Today we're going to talk about an oxymoron. What's that? Well, not this guy, this is a moron. Here's another example of a moron standing on the sheetrock. Should never do that. Clark W. Griswold. Yeah. So a lot of people might hear the term oxymoron and think, you know, that's a person that doesn't know anything. Well, no. Oxymoron is a combination of contradictory words, such as cruel kindness, or big baby, or anything like that. So what does that have to do with an amplifier? Well, we have a massive Nano. That's right, this is the massive audio Nano N2 Nanoblock. This model is actually discontinued, the N2. I was able to pick this one up at a really good price. The impressive thing with this amp is the box. The box is like a jeweler's box for a fine watch. It is amazingly built. And once you get into the box, you can see all the things that come with it. You know, the owner's manual, some of the little guides there, some mounting hardware. So let's go ahead and pull it out, see what it's all about. This amplifier is very small. It almost fits in the palm of my hand. I'll show later in the video a comparison with some of the other small amps. Here you can see all the goodies it comes with. Well, let's take a look at the manual here, see what the ratings are. And the massive N2, 1600 watts max, 800 watts at 1 ohm, 400 watts at 2 ohms, or 200 watts at 4 ohms. And yes, as you guys can imagine, I'm not real happy with this 1600 watt max. It's right here on the box. Yeah. But check this out. This CTA-2006 Compliant. What's that all about? Well, I did some research and I was trying to find what the specs are, but they want to charge $58 for the PDF download. Is you crazy? So we're not sure about that CTA-2006, but we have heard of CEA-2006. I'm sure you've seen this logo stamped on a lot of amplifier boxes. Primary output power is always expressed as watts RMS and measured with 14.4 volts DC supply, 4 ohm load, and 1% or less total harmonic distortion of the amplifier's output. Yeah, what about 1 ohm? So if the amp is rated at 4 ohms and it meets that, is it compliant? Somebody answer me, because this is driving Big D crazy! So as I mentioned earlier, the N2 Nanoblock is discontinued. You can see the original price was $399.95. Here it is compared to a regular size amplifier, 7.2 inches or 183 millimeters wide by 5.5 or 140 millimeters tall by 2.1 or 53 millimeters thick. Alright, let's check out the inputs and outputs here on the massive N2. Here on one end you can see we have a couple of LEDs for protect and power. We have a remote gain control, RCA inputs, bass boost, gain, low pass filter, and subsonic. On the opposite side we have the speaker outputs, which are bridged together. And we also have the plus 12 volt, the ground, and the remote. Stay tuned until after the amp dyno test and we'll show you the guts. Alrighty, you guys are ready for the amp dyno test? Let's check it out. Starting off at 4 ohms, we're going to run a certified test using the 40 hertz test tone. This will take us up to 1% THD when it stops. 213 watts at 14.5, so it did beat its 200 watt rating. 21 amps of current pulled. Next we'll try 2 ohms, again at 40 hertz, up to 1% THD. It's rated 400 watts at 14.4. We got 339 right at 14.4, so not quite there. Pulled 385 amps. So then we said, well, you know, we can still get RMS watts up to clipping, so let's go ahead up to clipping and see what we get. kind of close, but not quite there. 386 watts at 14.18 volts. And we pulled 50.6 amps of current. Alright, and since we didn't meet ratings at 2 ohms, we were concerned with the 1 ohm test. So let's try it up to 1% THD at 40 hertz, rated 800 watts. Oh no, 466 watts at 14.32. Yeah, Big D can't believe that. That is just a little bit more than half of 800 watts. We pulled 61.1 amps. Alright, now we'll test it at 1 ohm and we'll go 40 hertz up to clipping. See how much better we do. Still not that good. 550 watts at 14.03 volts. Still a long ways away. 75.3 amps. Well, maybe, just maybe, the dynamic RMS power will give us that 800 watts that it promises. Nope, not quite. 676 watts, 680 watts at 1 ohm, 14.35. Yeah, thumbs down. What happened to the 800 watts massive audio? 85.7 amps of current drawn. 800 watts RMS, where did they get this from? So it got us thinking maybe the 40 hertz test was just too low of a frequency. Let's try 100 hertz. 1 ohm up to clipping, which should give us, you know, hey, a little bit easier load on the amp. 567 watts at 14.2. Still 250 watts away from 800 watts. Pulled 77.1 amps. Don't know what to say here. Well, let's check the results. Check out the dyno sheet here and see what's up. You can pause this at any time if you like to see the results, but the main thing to look at here is the 1 ohm results. It's rated 800 watts RMS, and we got 466 and 550 using the certified and uncertified test. Based on these results, can we trust the CTA-2006 Compliant seal on an amplifier? Well, sure, it did 4 ohm rating, but what about 1 ohm? The problem I have here is this seal is supposed to let us know what the true power of these amplifiers are, and you can see manufacturers are finding a way around it. Unreal. Alright, as you guys can probably tell, I'm pretty bummed with this CEA or CTA 2006 whatever. This is something that'll make you smile. Amplifier guts, I mean, just beautiful. Doesn't matter what the amp does on the dyno, if you open it up and it looks like this, just gotta smile, even if you're mad. I'm kind of mad right now, but I'm still smiling. Check out the 3 filtering caps there for the power supply section. Copyright 2016. Got some rail caps here, pretty big. These are 2200 microfarad, 105 degrees Celsius. Yeah, this amp looks like another amp. Let's check that out. Yeah, this American bass PH1600 MD looks a lot like it. So I found some gut shots of the American bass, and sure enough, they're not identical, but they are very, very close. And for comparison, here's a massive and another 3K amp. If you're curious of what that is, make sure you're subscribed, you'll see that later. But here's a couple other small mini amps, the Rockford PBR 300X1 and the Kenwood M3001. You can see the size difference. The other two are a little bit smaller, but the massive, even though it's overrated, still quite a bit more powerful than those two. This has been Big D Wiz, oldschoolstereo.com. Thanks as always for watching, commenting, liking. Until next time, I'm out of here. Make the ground shake. Alright, we're going to try the massively small Nanoblock amplifier here at 0.8 ohms dynamic burst. See what it'll do. Alright, went into protect. That's 768 watts. 98.2 amps of inrush current.